This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I am here with Kleermind. Since 2014, this certified coach has empowered individuals to maximize their skills and natural abilities by removing limiting beliefs, habits, and attitudes so you can take control of your life. I'm joined here with Durrell Dixon, better known as Doc as well.
Yes.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. You were educated with a degree from Colorado Christian University. You went to Purdue University studying generalist psychology. You are now a certified master life coach and trainer. I mean, really, your experience as a counselor and a trainer has led you through 2 decades of really just helping others. Share with me how this passion began for you.
It began because when I grew up, I was bullied. And I came from a household of faith. And so I often asked God, I said, God, why do people keep bullying me? And so the answer came, so I got this impression that people do it because of the way they think.
Okay.
And so I wanted to understand more about what causes people to think in such a way that causes their behavior. And so that began my lifelong journey to understand why the bullies bully. And so when I understood that, I began to see them in a different light. I began to not see them as an enemy, but as someone who was hurting. Someone who had problems that were undetectable, that were not obvious. But they had a reason why. It wasn't just because they didn't like you. It's because of something that went on inside.
Oh. Knee-jerk reaction is to get mad and angry, but when you look at it deeper, you kind of feel sorry for the person, realize this is something deeper. I mean, we are all created with this powerful computer between our ears. We continue to marvel at the mystery of our mind. Why was the name Kleermind a good fit for you and your business?
Because as I began to look at the way people thought, it was like problems, issues, events cluttered the mind. And it cluttered them. It's like their original self, the self that was calm and that was nice and that was able to process clearly was buried. And so Kleermind was like you just remove it, you clear it out, you clear out the clutter, and you're left with the original product.
What we were meant to be originally.
Exactly.
I mean, each of us have unique abilities, strengths, and gifts, yet do you feel placing ourselves in the wrong environment can limit those gifts from ever materializing?
Oh my gosh, yes. Because you have 2 environments that you always deal with. Your internal environment and your external environment. And so when you have a conflict between environments, or when you have conflict within your environment, that causes stress, that causes depression, that causes all those modalities, all those issues that occur because your environments are in conflict. So I often go by the term, a house divided itself can't stand.
Sure.
So if you divide your mind, if your mind is divided against itself, it's called self-bullying. You bully yourself. And so you heard a lot of people to say that people don't like to spend time with themselves. So they play music or they get diversions because they can't spend time with themselves because they're bullying themselves inside. Because you don't want to be with somebody who you don't like or who always mistreats you. So when you have those self-talk, like, I can't do this, I'm stupid. How come I can't never? How come I always? And so when you're around somebody who always does that, you don't want to be there. That's an environment. Okay, that's an internal environment. So when you take that self-environment and you put it in a external environment, then you may have an environment that's nice and calm, but your environment is chaotic. And so what's inside comes outside. And you start adjusting that environment to meet the internal environment.
Wow. So basically, you're spreading that from here, and it's all going out and affects your life eventually. Over the past decade, you have utilized tools like NLP and focus techniques in your one-on-one counseling. Do you feel many of us are not exposed to these tools as we grow up, and you enjoy sharing and really educating folks about different things that can help?
You know, those tools are actually what people do all the time. They just call it that. When you start, it's just like going to school. What school does is it concentrates information,
Okay.
and it makes you aware of it. So people do these things. They do NLP. They do focusing. They're just not aware that they do it. But it's just like when you have a tool.
Yeah.
When you have a tool and you don't know how to use the tool, you misuse the tool or you don't use the tool. When you have the tool and you know how to use the tool correctly, then it becomes powerful. Then it calls creation. Then it calls movement. So NLP is just a way of saying, here's something, they put a name to it, you do it already, I'm just going to show you how to do it proficiently.
Basically, I've had this tool the whole time, but I just didn't happen to know how to use it.
Exactly.
Interesting. We mentioned environment before. I agree with you. Most of us, when we think of environment, it's about just who we're hanging out with, what we're doing externally. Do you feel that internal environment is the hardest to change? It's much easier to get yourself out of a situation compared to changing what's going on in there. Is that what people struggle with many times, you feel?
Absolutely. That internal environment is hard to change because it becomes your safety.
Yeah.
The things that hurt you, you want to hold on to the most because you'd rather be hurt than unsafe. Because one of the primary desires of a human being, one of the first ones, is to be safe.
Wow.
That is actually the first function of the mind, is to create safety. And so that's why it's so important that you understand what is it that I'm doing to create safety. Is it safety from being hurt? Is it safety from being exposed? What am I creating? Because one of my professors told me something I thought was really, really profound. He says people's action is always because they're trying to feed something. They're trying to get something fed, whatever the action is. And so typically it goes around, I first need to be safe. Once I can do that, then I can do these other things.
What we feed will continue to grow. Basically, I never understood that hierarchy like you just explained, which is safety is way up there, even over being hurt. That's something for people to think about. I mean, you help create positive change for others, really in many areas. As we know, the love of money is the root of much evil. Yet, is the area of finance one that is critical that we must understand so we can benefit not only ourselves, but also help others? Is that an area you try to help with?
I do. I have coached, I have done business coaching. I've helped people understand their relationship to money.
Yep.
And it's not really the money, it is the perception of money. That's what it is. It's how I perceive it, okay? And so, because if it wasn't dollars, it could be rocks. It could be pebbles. It could be whatever it is, but it's the concept of it. And the concept of money, going back to what I said before, money creates the concept of safety. The more money I have, the what? The better I feel because I feel safe. I feel like the dangers that are around me, I can resolve the risk. And that's another thing that money does, and that people need to be aware of, is that it's the fear of risk. It's what money does to reduce risk. Because risk is the ideal of that something that I value is either in danger of being destroyed, taken, or harmed. So if I have money, money says I can buy things to create safety for the things that I value, so I reduce the risk.
So even though we're going out materialistic, getting a few things, makes me feel like this, deep down inside, we're talking about safe. We're talking about feeling really safe.
Right. I'm looking for a way to reduce the risk of harm that comes to me, what I value. Whatever it is you value, the higher that value, the more sense you have of the risk to it.
Wow. You teach how we can improve our mood and motivation so we can attain the success we deserve and really desire. How is your training done? When someone out there maybe wants to get involved, is your training done in person, virtually, or a little bit of each?
A little bit of each. The thing that I like doing is group.
Okay.
Is doing it for groups. Okay, because then it's more bang for the buck.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have done a lot of one-on-one coaching, because you can really dig into what is going on with people.
Yeah.
And so it's a therapeutic coaching, because coaching is to move someone from a present position to a desired position. Therapy is to say, I'm in this position now, let's go back to find out how you got there.
Interesting. So in your groups is a good place to start, because financially speaking, it's better for people. They can maybe enjoy the group, but if they pick up something in the group, they want to move on to one-on-one. Is that kind of a natural progression sometimes?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes it's the one-on-one, and then if I have a group, they move into the group.
So either way.
Either way.
Interesting. Basically, you teach that looking after our mind's health, that is one of the most important factors in our overall health.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that is?
Because how do you move? Unless you have a thought, you don't move. Whether it's a conscious thought or a subconscious thought.
True.
So if your mind is a healthy mind, then you'll move in healthy behavior. If it's not, then you keep repeating these same old things, and you keep, how often have you heard, how come I keep doing that? Why do I keep doing that? That's not what I intended to do. Well, because it started with a thought. You may not have been aware of that thought, but it started there. So if you get into it, and the thing is that your mind is a tool. So if I know how to work that tool,
Yeah.
then that tool is going to create behavior. And it's going to create the behavior I want if I'm intentional about using that tool.
Two different people can have the same tool and get total different effects. Same thing with our mind. I mean, they're getting totally different results, and we both have a mind that is very capable. I mean, Doc, you not only teach how to have success, but to have perfect success. How is loving others part of that success formula for you?
Well, it's understanding what love is. And most people are taught or given the impression or taught or shown that love is emotional. Love is emotional. Love has emotion in it, but it's primarily not an emotion. It is an intentional behavior. What love does is love actually, and I use the biblical form of love, agape. Okay? And agape literally means a love feast.
Okay.
That feast in that time means that you have people who you're serving and you show them preference. You give them what you prefer. This person prefers this person prefers this. And you move them. It literally means, prefer means to literally lift somebody up and move them forward. So when you love somebody, you are using your resources, external resources and external resources, to take somebody and to help them move from this position to a forward position. That's what love does. It moves people forward. And you have to be able to know how to move them forward with care and with understanding. Because everybody don't want to move forward when they're supposed to move forward. But you can see you need to move from this position to here, because it's going to help you develop. It's going to help you grow. It's going to help you be successful mentally and emotionally and with your hands. It's going to help you improve. And so people kick and scream because of that safety. It's safe here. I don't want to move. Well, this place is killing you. It's not allowing you to spread your wings. It's like being like a caterpillar stuck in a cocoon, and it can't break out to be the butterfly.
We want to be led. We don't want to be pushed. We want to be led to where we want to go. I mean, let's face it, we all want change in our lives, but it's hard to be that change. Many times we pray for strength to just keeping on. Does strength actually come by us actually keeping on? And is it not looking for strength in the front end, but actually we get that because we just keep pressing on?
You know, strength comes from a lot of different places. And sometimes we can generate our strength. We can generate the power. And the power, my definition of power is the ability to cause. And so you are able to cause because of the ability that's in you.
Okay.
And so what happens is that, and that's what stress comes in when they said I need strength. Strength is when your strength gets depleted because it's not being renewed.
Okay.
And so what you have to do is find the things that renew your strength. Because your strength can be renewed as you work, but when you focus so much on doing work and you're expending your energy and you're not doing anything to replenish it, that's when you find, I have no strength.
Yeah.
But you have to do things intentionally to replenish it. And it starts here. You have to replenish this with strength. And that means you have to look for ways, what causes me to function the best in my mind? What strategies of thinking do I have? How am I looking at myself?
Once again, understanding that tool. It's a tool. How does it run? It'd be like a lawnmower. You got to put gas in it. You got to keep refilling it, and we don't see that when it comes to our mind. You assist others to create powerful strategies for recognizing and effectively using their skills and inherent strengths so they can take the right actions to produce the right results. Is this rewarding for you when you see that happen with folks you work with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My whole mission, my whole drive is to help someone to become the best, become the original version of them. Kleermind, removing all that clutter so you can be who you were naturally made to be. Who you are naturally, and being comfortable in that, and being effective, and being secure, and being successful in just being you.
We don't want to go back to square one on so many things in our life. Yet going back to square one in our mind, there's some power there. I mean, going back to the original power that was given to us, we're the ones that messed it up. Distractions, clutter, like you say. For folks out there that want to get involved, what's the best way to contact you and do that?
They can contact me. They can go by social media on Facebook. Kleermind. They can go to Kleermind on Facebook. They can email me at Kleermind Gmail. They can. Those are the best ways to contact me.
Contact you.
Yeah.
We're going to put that information on the bottom of the screen. Okay. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. We're going to put his contact information right there. You can find him on LinkedIn and also follow him on Facebook, where you will be inspired and learn about any training they have coming up, as he teams up with a lot of folks as well. Once again, that is Kleermind, strategies that help you take control of your life. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.